Gaudapada or Gaudapada the Great. Gaudapada the Great. The next major master in our holy tradition is Gaudapada. He is the first great master to live in the post-Upanishadic period. He was chiefly known for writing a commentary on the Mandukya Upanishad called the Karika. The Mandukya Upanishad is very short, only 12 verses. These verses talk about four divisions of consciousness and how they relate to the universe we experience. In his Karika, Gaudapada uses only reason and with this tool alone he undermines the foundation upon which all philosophy and science are built. More importantly, he sets forth the foundation for knowing the ultimate reality. If any mathematician were to advance a theorem that successfully disproved all other mathematical theorems and set the stage for a higher and more fundamentally sound mathematics, he would be universally hailed as a great genius and would be a famous figure for thousands of years. Basically, that is what Gaudapada did, only he did it not only for mathematics, but for all knowledge, and yet he is virtually unknown in the world. The foundation of all science is an unchallenged assumption that observations and experiences are real. This is not to say that they fail to recognize the possibility of a mistaken observation or an incorrect conclusion. That is not their downfall. It is the fact that if something is observed and under the same circumstances others observe the same thing, it is taken to be a scientifically valid observation. Until Gaudapada's Karika, no one ever entertained the idea that the basis of all such experiences may be illusory in nature. Gaudapada is unlike any other master in that he arrives at his conclusions by reason alone. He does not fall back on the scriptures as the final authority. He builds his philosophy around the experiences of all three relative states of consciousness: waking, dreaming, and dreamless deep sleep, and shows that there must be a fourth state, which is the basis of the other three, and finally, that the fourth state of consciousness constitutes the ultimate reality. This ultimate reality is singular in nature, that is, it is not related to anything else, nor is it supported by anything else. In fact, no other thing than that exists. It is the self of all selves, the Atman. It is transcendental consciousness and it is the same as the non-dual, birthless and deathless Absolute or Brahman. Gaudapada does not deny the world or the individuality of living beings. Rather, he sees in everything the non-dual Atman alone. The idea of Maya or illusion is accepted by Gaudapada as the best explanation of creation and the appearances of diversity. Gaudapada's philosophy is called Advaita or unity, and its basis is the state of unity consciousness. He points out in the Karika that each state of consciousness has its own reality. The reality of the deep sleep state is nothingness. There does not seem to be a subjective I or an objective universe in which the subjective I lives. In the dream state, the reality of the deep sleep state is seen to be just an illusion. In the dream state, I can see and feel and smell and taste and hear things. The subjective I exists in the dream, as does the objective universe. Yet upon waking, all of that is seen to be just an illusion. Most of humanity only experiences these three relative states of consciousness, and so it is a universally unchallenged belief that the experiences of the waking state are really real and not just a higher form of dream. Gaudapada points out in his Karika that the thread of reality which is woven through all states is consciousness alone. What is real in the deep sleep state? Is it the nothingness that is experienced, or rather no experience and no experiencer? No. There is awareness, very dim, but there nonetheless. If there were really no awareness, then a person could not be awakened by an alarm clock because he would not be able to experience the alarm. What is real in the dream state? In the dream, a person may be fighting a wild beast, be injured, frightened, exhausted, etc. But the second he awakens, the beast disappears, the injuries and pain disappear, the fear disappears, the exhaustion disappears. All reality changes because he changes states of consciousness. So, what is real? Consciousness itself. No one would deny the illusory nature of the beast or the pain, but how can a person deny that the experience did not take place? The objects of experience are an illusion, but the awareness itself cannot be denied. Therefore, awareness is the thread of reality that weaves itself through all states of consciousness. Gaudapada simply shows in his Karika that if a person wants to know the ultimate reality, he must achieve the ultimate state of consciousness. He concluded that the awareness is real, but the object of awareness is not. Following this line of reasoning, he found that the ultimate reality is the experience of the ultimate state of consciousness, and that is the essence of the Advaita Vedanta. The wisdom of non-dualism or Advaita has only two major proponents in all history. They are Gaudapada and Shankara. Both are masters in our holy tradition. The importance of Gaudapada's contribution is proof that the masters of this tradition are the custodians of the highest spiritual wisdom, beyond which no higher is possible. All other philosophy and all other science is based on the waking state alone and on an improbable assumption of its reality. Below are some quotes from Gaudapada concerning the ultimate reality. 1. It is unborn, ever awake, free from dream, having no form or no name. It is one continuous thought, all-knowing. There is no metaphor whatever in saying this. 2. That the origin of experience is explained from evolution, after the manner of pots, etc., from clay, instruments, etc., from iron or sparks from fire, is only a method of putting the matter to the learner. There is in reality no distinction whatever in the all. 3. That which is not at beginning and end is not in the present moment also. Things, though fully resembling unreality, are said to be real by a kind of metaphor. Not, you can write it N-A-U-G-H-T, en español N-A-U-G-H-T, not, not. 4. As the rope, not understood as such, is mistaken in the dark for a snake, so is a spirit mistaken for the variety of this world. 5. That passions which would empty the ocean drop by drop at the tip of a straw of the kusa grass will, when untiringly sustained, establish control over the mind. 6. Woe to him who enunciated this method of harmony in the absolute, conducive of the well-being of all, beneficent, above all dispute, entirely at one. Those are the, finally, seventh, those are the enlightened great souls of this world who happen to be firmly fixed in eternal unborn calmness. The world cannot even dream of it. 8. Arouse the mind if it falls into lethargy, pacify it back into its place if it runs out, persuade it by proper knowledge, if it tends to the objective, touch it not when it has found the condition of peace. And 9th, to all ascetics whatever, the condition of fearlessness depends upon control of the mind, which leads also to destruction of misery, perfect light, and inexhaustible peace.